Hey guys, this is Chris from 1990. I'm here to give you guys some quick tips and tricks how to edit your photos on Lightroom. And I actually didn't plan to make this video, but I thought that it would be good to share with you guys the process on how I edit my photo on Lightroom. Even though I've done it before, but it's gonna be like a little quick video. I'm just gonna edit some, couple of photos, maybe three. As you can see, like I've edited some of these photos I took recently, actually just today. It's in Hope Valley, California. So let's get started. So I just wanted to show you guys like how I turn this regular looking photo into this photo. So this is comparison, and that's the original, and that's the finished product. So I'm not gonna use this photo as reference right now. I'm gonna use different photos. So slightly different photo. So let's edit this one. First of all, I was in the process of editing these photos, already made a preset for it. So I'm just gonna slap it on, and boom. And it looks a little bit it's a little bit dark. So we're gonna brighten it up, put up the exposure a little bit, and if you don't like the highlights, you can just bump it up a little bit. And yes, okay, so first of all, you want to make sure that you have good balance of exposure in your photo. So especially the subject, the car. And right now we got a pretty good exposure on the car, on the subject. And don't worry about all this. I don't think this is clipping a little bit right there. So we will actually fix that later on. But right now we are going to make the subject pop a little bit more. So what I normally do is I go to this radial filter, shortcut Shift M, and we will just gonna make circle around the car, which is the subject. And normally I would just bump up the exposure a little bit, maybe 0.2, 0.3, and it really depends on the photo itself. And normally I would just bump up the clarity as well to 25, maybe like around 15 to 25. And in this case, we'll say like there's too much clarity right there, so I'm just gonna drop it down to 20 probably, and give a little bit more shadow, turn down the black. So it's all about experiment, guys. So like it's just like what looks or feels right for you. There's no like definitive answer on how you should edit your photos, but I'm just showing you like the process of me editing photo, my style. Now we can see like the subject is a little bit more exposed than the background and all that. So we're just gonna balance it again with okay, so this is gonna be a tip number 2. So normally I would just make subject pop even a little bit more. So how I do that is I do the graduated filter and shortcut key M, and we will just drag up like so. And I would normally stop around like the bumper or like the lip of the car, and we can just start darken it and then see how it looks like. There we go. And then I'll put like a little bit more clarity, and the shadows and the black, I will turn them down a little bit. So the third tip is basically, I mean, it should have been like first tip, but just like what I said, I'm doing this not prepared. I'm just doing it off script right now. I just want to give you guys like quick tips and tricks how to edit photos. Anyways, yeah, so make sure that your composition is perfect. So you can just like move around the photo, resize if you need to. and make sure that you have the right frame for the photo, and then it looks perfect. Everything looks in line and everything is centered. And yeah, so we will continue to edit this photo. And if you guys can see, there's like a little bit clipping right here. It's like too bright. You actually see right there. Yep, clipping right here, clipping right here on the headlights, of course. So, oh yes, when you're shooting, so see, like, this is off the script. I'm all over the place right now. Just giving you like more tips actually. So when you're taking photo, or actually when I'm taking photo, normally I would just like turn the lights, the headlights on, even on the day, because it makes the car feel more alive, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, we will actually darken these headlights a little bit, just to avoid clipping. And the way we do that is we are going to get, let's see, adjustment brush. So shortcut key K. So let's start masking these headlights. Oh, also, when I'm doing this, the flow, I set it down to 50, so it's not really like it blends in with everything, because like you don't want it too harsh. You want it to look subtle. So when you're adjusting like some areas of the photo, you want it to blend in with the whole photo, not just like, oh, like that looks off because you somehow like darken like too much or whatever the reason. So that's the reason I go with the 50% flow. Anyways, let's start masking it. And I would press O to know what I'm masking on. So that would enable the mask area. Just like basically just gonna cover all this headlights right here, as well as the left side. I know it's like a little bit messy right now. If you actually like go over like a little bit on the edge, it's cool, it's fine, don't worry about it. If you hold Alt key, that will actually like enable the erase mode, so you can actually just kind of clean it up a little bit. Same thing on the left side. We are masking just the headlights, remember guys, because that's the problem that we have right now with the subject. The headlights are just a little bit too bright from the rest of the photo. And boom, there we go. Okay, so we'll press O again, right? And we will darken it a little bit, turn down the exposure, see like maybe right there, and then turn down the headlight, the highlights as well, and yeah, keep it right there. And if you guys don't like, okay, so this is my preference. Like I don't like the yellowing on the headlights, so I just turn down the saturation, make it a little bit cleaner, like 90%, 91%. And clarity, I don't think we need more clarity on this thing. Nope. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. Okay, so we're just gonna keep going back and forth with this, like see how we feel about the photo, or how I feel about the photo. Looks pretty good, right? And okay, so now because the road right here, I don't really like it, like it's a little bit too bright. So I'm gonna do adjustment brush again, and I'm gonna start painting all the roads right here. Of course, I have to press O to enable the masking area. So it doesn't have to be like really accurate, guys. So I'm just editing this like in a quick way. So harden the masks, and there we go. So we can go over like a little bit on the car, cover it a little bit, because we can always erase it later on. So just don't worry about like getting to the edge of the car a little bit. And remember guys, still have the what do you call that, the radial filter on the car, so we can brighten up a little bit if you feel you need to. So go with that. Okay, just clean up the edges a little bit on the car, making sure that it doesn't touch, it's not covered with the mask. There we go. And okay, we're set. Press O again, and we're gonna darken it a little bit more. Here we go. And maybe shadows, maybe, there we go. Blacks as well. Okay, here we go. Now it looks a little bit better now. All right, so again, you don't want to be really what do you call that, like obvious about it. So if you actually see how I you know, put down the exposure, and you know, I don't really put like darken it a little bit too much, because it is gonna look obvious, like, you know, it's heavily edited and you don't want it. Okay, so next tip is going to be adding what do you call that, adding fake light or fake sunlight. How you do that? Of course, you go to radial filter again, and so this is kind of like, you have to like know where the sun is pointing at this. So with this photo, so it looks like the sun is coming out from the left. So as you can see, like this part is a little bit darker, that part is a little bit, well, yeah, it's a little bit brighter. So we'll go with that. So we're gonna make like a giant, huge oval with the radial filter. I'm gonna set it right there probably, and if you want to get it a little bit bigger, to like, you know, to the point it almost touches the car, that's fine. And we are going to start brightening up a little bit. There we go, that's good. And one other tips is I would just like color the radial filter with kind of like yellowish color, so like that. And we're gonna turn down the color a little bit and blend it in with the photo, maybe like 48%. And there we go. And this is the final, I think we're done with this. This is the final look of the photo. So we went from this to this. And there we go. So we'll get a 5-star to kind of like sort out all the photos that we've edited, so we know which one we can, or which photo that we will keep. Now I want to show you guys how to clean up the photo, which is the next tip right here. This is gonna be a little bit technical because we're gonna have to use the Photoshop as well. I just want to give you guys a sample right now. Give me 1 second. Okay, so if you actually see, there's a trash can right here, a pole, a freaking tree right there, and I just kind of like clutter the whole photo. So what I did was I went to the Photoshop. Let me just like give you guys an example actually. So again, like this is really off script because I just, you know, I thought I would share it with you guys about these tips and tricks, and I don't want to make it long either, so we will go right to the, you know, how you do it. Basically you just want to convert or transfer this image to Photoshop. So I'm just going to show you guys how to clean up all this photo right here. We will actually go to Photoshop. The shortcut key will be Control-E, and it will open up Photoshop with the photo that you have right now on Lightroom. So right now, if you were to use, say, okay, so we're gonna delete this 3 objects. What you're gonna do is you want to control J, no, not control J, sorry. We're gonna do a pen tool, and we're gonna trace the edges of the subject, which is the car, and tracing it like that. And you guys will see the reason why I'm doing this, instead of just, you know, go use the patch tool, because you don't want to lose the details on the subject, because sometimes, like, most of the time you can't really, you know, like, you can't, because most of the time you will actually like erase some of these edges right here as well, so the photo will look like it's edited, and you don't want it to look like that. So what we're gonna do after this is right click, gonna make selection, click OK. I would normally do 1 pixel feather radius. Click OK, and we are going to control J it, and as you guys can see, this is what we cut from the original photo. Back a little bit, there we go. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so let's start with this, clearing the pool, go, and then okay, so right now, instead of using the spot healing brush, I'm just gonna use the clone tool. So I'm gonna start erasing the restroom. So the reason is, if you use the spot healing brush for big objects, normally it wouldn't look good. And then if you use this clone tool, you can actually blend everything in really good, just like so. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now imagine if we didn't have this second mask, second layer that we just created, the edges of the car. Remember, this is how it looked like on the photo, because we would of course go over a little bit on the edges. We're going to erase some of the details of the car, and that's why we need to have this. That's why we created the edges of the car. We trace it and gonna cover what's missing on the subject, so it's gonna make the photo clean, just like that. All right, so next step, if you see like any trash or like oil spills on the road, on asphalt, you can just clean it up a little bit more with the go to background 1, and you can use this now, spot healing brush. So just, you know, clean up any oil slicks or trash if you see it on your photo, just like so, make it cleaner. So basically we went from here to here. You see the difference? It makes a lot of difference, right? Because it just makes the car pop a little bit more, because there's no distraction between, you know, around the car. It's just the car and the background. That's it. Nothing, no other subject or anything. I mean, I could have cleaned that as well, but nah, doesn't really bother me. But anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. That's it from me. And yeah, so if you guys have if you guys know like any other tip or tricks that you've been using on when you're editing your photos, you can comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.